Hey guys, my name is Jess. I am a coach over at Fill Your Books. I'm here with an amazing student of ours, Whitney, who started with us in the beginning of March. So we're going to talk a little bit about her story today, where she's from, what her experience has been like. So we'll get started. Whitney, tell us a little bit about how you came to Fill Your Books.
So I was literally just like on Facebook one day. I was preparing to like start my business. I was finishing up beauty school and I didn't have a job the entire time I was in beauty school. So I was getting really down to the wire, like financially. And I was like, okay, like I have to put everything into this business and like it has to take off or I'm like screwed and I have to go find some crappy job that I don't want to do. So I was literally just like scrolling on Facebook one day and I saw an ad. It had like Jenna's face on it and it was like, beauty professionals, like something about like 9 new clients today. And I was like, what is this? So I like clicked on it. And at first I was like, is this like a pyramid scheme? Like I was like confused. I didn't know what it was. So like they were offering like free calls to like get you started. So I was like, okay, what is there to lose really? Like, because I had basically posted my price list and tried to like get clients pre-booking for when I got out of school. And I had a whole 2 people book. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Like I've put everything into this business. I bought everything for my business myself. So I was like, I need to fill my books basically. Like there's no other option. So I basically was like, what do I have to lose? So I signed up for the call with Tony. And I remember getting off the phone call with him and he really didn't want to let me get off the call without having like a solid answer on like, yes, I want to do it or no, I don't. But I asked him if I could just take a little bit of time to like deliberate and like figure things out because financially I was in a pretty tight spot and that was something I was like really worried about with joining. And like they've been so flexible with me and just like willing to like help me and do what I need to do to like stay ahead, because as I'm sure most of you guys know, like starting a business is not cheap and it's not easy.
Especially
And
just getting out of school. I mean, you were still in
yeah.
school with us for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I was just trying to get everything ready. So I sat down, I talked with my sister. She's like my best friend, my like guidance in life. And she was like, I mean, it's money. And she's like, it's another investment. She's like, but what are you gonna do if you don't do this? She's like, so basically it was like I didn't really have anything to lose other than the money, basically. So I was like, I didn't really know what else to do. I had nowhere else to turn. I had tried all the like advertising offer like ways that I knew of myself and I got 2 people booked for like my first 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, like it has to be better than that. So I called Tony the next day and I was like, I'm just going to do it, like full send, like we're just going to do it. And yeah, I have not regretted the decision, not even once.
Yes. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is it that you were going to school for? What are you doing right now?
So I went to school for aesthetics and nails as a combined program. So I'm a licensed esthetician and a licensed nail tech. Well, I'm still just like temporary licensed esthetician, but I have my last board this month, so it's coming. But so I really wanted to do like lash extensions was like one of my biggest things that I was excited about learning in school. Facial, skincare, body treatments, all of that. And I'm one of those people, like I'm all or nothing. So when I posted my service list, I was offering like so much stuff: facial waxing, full body waxing, facials, body treatments, lash extensions, classic hybrids, and volumes, even though like, and I still don't know how to like make my own fans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm like a pro at any of this stuff, but I just like dove right in and I like offered everything pretty much. And then I was also offering like gel manicures, regular manicures, acrylic nails, the whole nine. And I mean, I've kind of shifted a little bit and since I've been open for a couple months now, and there's certain stuff I'm not doing anymore. Like I don't do acrylic nails anymore, which is crazy because when I first opened my business, I was like, oh, this is something I want to like specialize in. I want people to know me as somebody that does nails. And it just wasn't for me. Like it just wasn't something that I really like found myself doing. It also wasn't something I was gaining a lot of clientele in or getting a lot of new people in for. It was tended to just be people I've known for a while that have been letting me practice on them and stuff like that. And so the speed wasn't coming naturally. The profit margin wasn't great on it. So, there are things that I've shifted, but like for the most part, I'm like a full service. Like, so I do facials now, body treatments, body and facial waxing. So like brows, lips, underarms, legs. I think those are the only thing on my service menu, but I guess if somebody wanted something else waxed, I could do that too. It's pretty much the same, just different.
Yeah.
Lash extensions, if I didn't already say that. And then I just do gel manicures now. So I just work on like natural nails and really trying to work on like enhancing my nail art and just my actual skills and what I like about doing nails. And that's why I shifted away from the other stuff.
I love that you can feel comfortable like letting something go that you went to school for, you know, in terms of acrylics, just because you're like, oh, I've had the opportunity to realize that this is not something that I love to do, and I'm okay with that, and I feel comfortable
And
not
it was
offering
starting
that.
to just take a lot out of my schedule and like the time that I would need to set aside for one acrylic set. I'm like, I could be doing lashes in this time, making an insane amount of more money doing it. And lashes is what's really taken off in my business the most. Like lashes and facials are where I get most new clients. So I really just decided like just turn my focus towards that. And I definitely have not regretted the decision at all. It's only made me like feel better. It's like lifted a weight off my shoulders.
I'm so happy for you. So you kind of came into the program, you kind of dove right in and got started. You hadn't even started working until like maybe the end of the month, right? Officially.
Yeah.
So what was like the course like for you? Was it easy to understand? Did you feel like good about what you were learning?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit
I
about
definitely feel like it was easy to understand for me. I always felt like from the second I like signed up with this company, I don't know what you guys call yourselves, company, group, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Fill Your Books. When I signed up with Fill Your Books, I immediately was like really into like the message and the vibe that all you guys have, and just like this whole idea of like, no, like you can do it and you're gonna do it and you're gonna kill it, and there's nothing that can stop you. The only thing that can stop you is yourself. That was definitely my biggest obstacle with the course, is like getting out of my own way. Like even still, I have not finished watching the videos. I'm going to finish watching the videos, but I haven't finished yet. And so I would say, you know, for people that are looking into doing this, like just be willing to put in the work. Like it's not going to be magical. It's not going to be overnight. You know, I'm 2 months in. I haven't officially reached like my full goal yet, but I've gotten so close, and my business is my full-time job now. Like I'm bringing in money with my full-time business, like all by myself. Like that's insane to me. Like I started from nothing. But the course like itself, like the videos are not hard to understand. It's not rocket science. It's not like, there's a couple that you would want to go back and rewatch a couple of times just to get all the little steps and pieces. And Kory goes really in depth with a lot of stuff. So you have to watch slow, pause, check stuff out, but they make it really easy to interact and kind of watch and do at the same time, which is what I like, because that works really well for me in my learning style. But like stay out of your own way, because that's going to be the biggest obstacle. Like I was still in school from basically 9 to 5 Monday through Friday when I joined Fill Your Books, and then I had like 5 days off after I graduated school before I jumped right into working as full-time as I could get, basically. And now I'm like definitely full-time, like 40 hours or more a week, which is like, but like I would just say like that was my biggest obstacle with it, was like finding the time and the commitment. And like honestly, that's my problem with everything. So I wasn't at all surprised by finding that to be a little bit of an obstacle, but like you can do it. You just have to set aside the time for it. And they teach you how to time block in like one of the first videos, and it's literally the most helpful thing ever. I ended up like, I do my whole booking through Google Calendars now, because I got used to seeing everything in that format. And when you're working on getting through the videos and through all the lessons, like it is so helpful to just block an hour or two time in your day to just watching those videos and taking the action steps at the end of it. And I think like now that I'm in the paid marketing section of it, like it's a little bit more, it's not as clean cut. It's not like watch, do, watch, do, watch, do. It's kind of like watch, see if you can figure it out. Maybe go back to
the tech stuff.
Right. So it's a little bit more tedious at the end of it, but for the first few sections, like you literally just watch, do, fill out your tracker. That's another thing too that I love about Fill Your Books, is like the organization, like the trackers. So up my alley. Like I love just visualizing what I've done in the month. And like I have my own business trackers too that I fill out for my own records, but I mean they're always pretty much right in line with the Fill Your Books ones, because I'm filling them out daily. And that's another thing too. Like I've had 20 tabs open on my computer for the last 2 months, like since I joined this program. Like I keep everything open. Like they give you so many guides and so many just like helpful things to hold on to and come back to when it comes to things that feel a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, I would say my only obstacle really with the course was like sit down and do it, stop putting it off. And I mean that's with anything that you're like trying to achieve in life. Like you have to get past the mental block of it. You have to just be like, okay, I'm doing it. This is my life now. This is my routine now. So get into a routine, use your time blocking, watch the videos every day and make it happen. And that, I mean, the rest is pretty much just like, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So yeah.
No, I love that. And for you, you also had like other life and stuff going on. Like you're
Yeah.
coming into a new business, like fresh out of school, like getting people in your ear being like, well, maybe you should go and do this, and maybe you should
Yeah.
go and do that. And like to
Yeah.
be able to kind of like mute all of that out and be like, no, I'm just gonna put my blinders on. I'm gonna focus and do my thing and have faith that like I can pull this off if I put what I
Yeah.
need out of it into it. And you kind of like showed everyone like
Yeah.
I didn't need
No, it's so
any
funny.
of
Like
your
my mom's
advice.
friend the other day, he had been to my room at the salon to help me do a couple handyman things because he's a little bit easier to get a hold of these days than my dad because my dad lives kind of far. So I recruited him to help me. He's super helpful. But I was chatting with my mom a couple weeks ago about numbers and just different stuff. And like, we're a very close family. Like we share everything. And he was like, that's really cool that it's like actually working for you. And I'm like, what do you mean actually work? I'm like, I had no other option. Like, of course it's actually working for me. Like, this is something I've wanted to do since I was 8 years old. Like, you know, like, of course it's actually working for me. Like what else was the alternative? Like, it was super funny. So it has been, it's honestly like, it's nice to kind of like show it off a little bit and be like, I'm only 22. Like, I'm young. I have like a whole life ahead of me, but not many 22-year-olds can be like, yeah, I'm my own boss. You know, all the money I make is on my own accord. And like, yeah, it's been amazing. And like
The
truly
growth that you've had in 2 months.
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. I literally went from having 2 bookings my first 2 weeks to I pretty much stay like a full week booked out at least now. I like last week I was actually like 2 weeks booked out, but then I kind of like got lazy and then so now I'm trying to fill next week like this week. So I usually stay about like a week, a half a week to a week fully booked out. So like those whole when people text you like, "Hey, can you get me in today?" "No, I'll see you in 2 weeks." "Can you get me in?" Like, "No, I'll see you in 3 weeks." Like and that's like what I wanted for myself because the harder you are to get into, the more in demand you create for yourself and the more people are like, "Oh wow, she has a lot of people coming to see her." And I also just love like being in charge of my own schedule. Like that's something I've worked a lot of like crappy dead end jobs when I was in college just to like, you know, make ends meet. And like I missed out on so much stuff with my family, with my friends in college, with just like you name it. I feel like everybody's been there with work at least once in their life where they had to miss out on something, but it was stuff like, you know, I'd have to leave Easter brunch early to go finish my shift at Starbucks and just like stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't want that for myself anymore. Like I was like, I'll never be happy if that's like the life that I have to live is like balancing all of this around work. And now it's like next Friday, I have a lash appointment, so I'm taking the whole day off. So I'm getting my lashes done and then I'm taking the whole day off because I can. So that's like my favorite thing about it is just like being in control of my schedule and when I'm at work and like not missing out on moments anymore. Like I hate missing out on stuff. My sister says I have FOMO, but I just like I want to be a part of everything. I want to be there for everything, especially when it comes to family because, you know, parents don't live forever. Family members don't live forever. So that was something that was really important to me and that I've really been able to like capitalize on being like my own boss. And it's amazing.
amazing. What would you say your biggest takeaway was? Like if you could like sum it up.
My biggest takeaway from something that I had started like realizing in school and then it kind of like compounded when I got to Fill Your Books is like the only person stopping you is yourself. And also like never ever compare yourself, your skill level or your journey to other people. Like that is the most important thing to remember in this industry and also as a business starter. I graduated with a bunch of girls. I have so many friends from beauty school, but that also means that my timeline is constantly filled with new estheticians like myself who are doing lashes, doing facials. And yeah, they might have LED lights and I don't have LED lights, or they might be hand making their fans and I can't hand make my fans, but it doesn't matter because like my clients are my clients. They come to me for a reason and I have my clients. Like there's nothing. Also, like we have to remember like everybody only posts the best sides of everything on social media, myself included. Everybody is struggling. So, you know, to anybody like starting beauty school, finishing up beauty school, starting their own business in this industry, like don't compare yourself to others. Like focus on yourself, focus on your skill level, practice. And if you feel good about the work that you're putting out, then you're doing enough. And if you don't feel good about the work you're putting out, then go home and practice more until you feel good about the work you're putting out. And that's really like, that's been my biggest takeaway. And like, don't there are people in the Fill Your Books group who are like, oh, I just broke 20,000 this month. And that's insane to me. I'm like, I could never, like, I'm celebrating a few grand, you know, and that, because that's where I'm at in my life right now. And I'm only one person, and I, you know, nobody works for me. I'm doing my own thing, and it doesn't matter, because like we're both doing growth. The person who just broke their $20,000 goal and me who just broke my $3,000 goal, we're both growing, and we're both doing what it takes to get where we need in our business. And it can be really easy to get wrapped up and be like, you know, how are they even making that much doing anything, you know, doing hair or doing this or doing, it's not important. Focus on you, focus on how you're going to make what you need to make and how you're going to bring in the clients that you want to have, and just shut out the rest. And once you tunnel vision yourself like that, like you get out of your own way, you just set yourself up for success. So that's my number one thing, is like, get out of your own way and stop comparing yourself to others. It's never going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, no, and enjoy your own journey, because it's not going to be like anybody else's.
Yeah.
And like, that's the most beautiful thing about it. Everyone has a unique situation, unique circumstances, unique needs. And somebody's chapter 20 making 20 grand is going to be different than your chapter 3. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you keep going and you stay consistent and you stay disciplined, like, you could be that person. You will be that person if you decide that's what you want to be. But maybe you decide, like you were saying, family time is more important to you than the money, and that we're just working to be able to spend that time with our family, be able to sustain ourselves for now. And then later on, maybe we decide to push into the $20,000 a month.
Like, I'm young, I'm single, I'm not looking to have kids anytime soon, I'm not looking to settle down anytime soon. Like, I'm in a completely different life point than a lot of the people in Fill Your Books, which is not a bad thing at all. Like, that's what I love about Fill Your Books, is the different perspectives and dynamics that are offered and brought to the table. Like, there's so many different, there's male hairstylists, there's, you know, massage therapists, there are just all different kinds of people in this industry to bounce ideas off of. And it's okay to bounce your ideas off of each other, but don't compare yourself. Don't be like, don't get discouraged because you see somebody post that they just made 10,000 in a month. Like, you'll get there. It's important that you take, like you said, appreciate your own journey. Like, take it for what it is. There's no part about starting your own business or working for yourself that is easy. Like, there's been so many times where I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is insane. Like, and even more so, like, I have a bachelor's degree. So you can imagine like the talks that my family has with me all the time. They're like, you know, what are you doing? Don't you want to do this and that? Like, what about your psychology degree and this and that? Like, just shut it all out. Like, do what you want to do and envision yourself where you saw yourself, and you'll get there. Like, you'll make it happen. It doesn't matter what everything else is going on around you. It doesn't matter if you went to undergrad first and then decided to do your thing. Like, it totally doesn't matter. Like, just make it happen, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And I love like what you're saying, like, although we're sharing a lot of wins in the Facebook group, like, it's a supportive group. It's not like ooh, I'm better than you. It's more of just like, hey, like, we're all on this journey, and I'm really excited to celebrate this and have everyone like celebrate with me.
That's another thing too. I feel like for a little while, I was a little bit scared to share my progress in the group, because I saw all these big numbers and these people who have been in the industry for years and years, or even like, there are girls who are pretty new to it, working part-time as lash artists, making more money than me. And that's okay. Like, I'm in a different market. I'm in rural upstate New York, like rural upstate New York. Like, there's literally nothing out here. There's more cows than people.
Yes.
And, like, you know, so everybody's journey is going to look a little bit different. And like, don't be afraid to share your progress just because you made 2,000 instead of 20,000. It doesn't matter. Like, progress is progress, and, you know, like, it's your business. It's important. Like, celebrate it, because if you don't celebrate the small wins, you're never going to make yourself feel good about what you're doing. Like,
and it's those small wins that get us to those big moments anyway. It all accumulates and compounds and adds up. And even if it's not a win that we're sharing, even if we were struggling with something, like, do you feel like you were met with support and like positive feedback and direction?
Always. Like, even, I mean, I remember, like, I was probably like, looking back, like, Jenna was probably like, okay, she's being a little brat right now. Like, I was in the group, like, I don't know what to do. This isn't working for me. Nobody's answering my DMs. Nobody's even opening my DMs. I'm getting nowhere. And like, the thing about it is, like, it's going to ebb and flow. Like, some weeks you're going to be like, heck yeah, I'm killing this. I finally understand it. And then next week you're going to be like, okay, how am I going to pay rent? Like, and that's fine. Like, but you have to keep it, the consistency. Like, I know this is so corny, but like, consistency is key with anything in life. And this past month, when I finally focused on my consistency and just waking up and getting it done and building those DMs and stuff into my morning routine, I saw the most difference in the growth of my business, because it's the compounded effect. You have to do a little bit every day. But like, you know, there's been times when I'm in the group, like complaining about everything in my life and like being a little brat. And like, you know what Jenna did? She sat down and made a whole 12-minute video just for me to make me feel better and make me stop stressing out. And it helped me so insanely much. Like, I literally felt guilty afterwards, because I was like, she's probably like, shut up, like stop complaining about yourself, like go make it happen. Like, and it's 100% true. There's going to be times where you feel really lost and you're like, this is not working for me. Like, I made this big investment and I don't have a way to, you know, get the return on investment and da 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 da. Like, you have to like shut off the negative self-talk, because it's literally just going to hold you back. And I've been there. Like, I'm
tethered and weighted down.
Yeah, I'm the worst about it. And even in times where I know for a fact that I was like being like super negative and a pessimist and not helping myself at all, like I was still met with the utmost positivity. Like, she literally sat down and made a video just for me. Like, that, I mean, it just speaks volumes. Like, they really care about everybody's individual success. Like, it's not a money thing for them. It's not like for any of you guys, like it's not at all. And like, no. I could tell that vibe from the second I joined. And I think that that's what really pushed me to be like, this is okay to do. Like, this is an investment that's worth doing. Like, they care about what you're doing, even when you're being a little bit negative and you're, you know, kind of like ignoring everything you've learned from the first set of videos where they teach you how to get into the mindset and everything. Like, I completely lost track of that. And Jenna wasn't mean about it. She wasn't like, you know, rude or like, shut up and stop being a crybaby. Like, she made me feel better. She made me made my own video, posted in the comments, and it literally helped me so much. And it also was just like, I got to stop pitying myself. If something isn't working for me, like, I got to fix it. I got to figure out how to make it work. Like, that's what running your own business looks like, is like you have to get rid of the negative self-talk and just be like, if I'm going to make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. And if I'm not, I'm not. And I have to go to plan B. So nobody wants to go to plan B. So just, you know, make it happen for yourself.
Yes. I love all of that feedback. And I'm so proud of you. And I feel like, I know you're just shy of your goal for this month. And if you hadn't gone on vacation for a week, I know you would have been over it.
100%. I was gone like the first like 5 or 6 days of May, but it was a weird, like, I was only gone for like 3 days, but I came home on a Saturday, jet lag. So then my days off were Sunday, Monday. So then, like, you know, it kind of elongated the whole thing, like being out of the salon, because I was like, I'm not going to go back to work on a Sunday. Like, those are my days off. So took the days off to like recuperate from the jet lag. But 100%, I think if I had been here the entire month, like, I probably would have reached my goal, which
what do you feel like what do you feel like the future holds for you now? Like, what, like, from before to now, it's like, what does it look like?
So, you know, I'm really just trying to get back in control of my finances. And you know, like, for the first time in my life, like, my job is completely dependent on myself and the work that I do. And, you know, I have bills. Like, I'm young, but I don't live at home. So I have rent, I have car stuff, you know, all the stuff to pay for. And my goal for the next few months is really just like be able to invest in my business and the new services that I want to offer, because there's so much stuff that I want to do that I just don't have the extra money for right now, which is totally fine, because that's the phase that I'm at. So my goal is to, you know, be able to do that. I want to pay off my credit cards that I ran up when I was putting my room together. Because as I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't have a job for the entire time I was in beauty school, because I really wanted to be able to focus on beauty school and get out of it what I needed to. And that was the way, I mean, I worked all through undergrad and it was miserable. So I was like, I'm not doing it for this time. Like, I'm just going to take time off. So get back in control of my finances, pay off the credit cards, you know, be able to invest in the business, and also like be able to have a little extra left over to treat myself. Like, I am an avid shopper and I have literally had to ignore it for the last like 8 months, because I'm like so tuned in, and I'm like, no, like, every penny I spend is really that serious. Like, I really do have to be, like, I was big time in college, like the bougie friend. Like, I would just like, if everybody was broke, I'd be like, okay, we're still going out, I'll put it on my credit card, you know? And like, I had to break those habits, and it sucks, but I'm also a very fun loving person. Like, I'm very easygoing, and money at the end of the day is not my end all be all. So I want to get back to the financial place where I want to be at, where, you know, I feel like money isn't the end all be all, where I feel like it's just like something I get to, you know, make my life work, but it's not something I think about all the time. And I'm definitely on my way there. You know, it takes a lot when you've invested a lot.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't going to be an overnight thing, but I think after the end of June, I will be officially like up on my investment, like up on like the money that I put into, not Fill Your Books, but the money I put into starting my business, which I think was like 6,000 or 7,000, something like that. So, at the end of my third month, I'll officially be on the reverse side of that. I think right now I'm like 1,000 something like behind on it. So, I mean, by halfway through the month, I'll be on the upward side of it. So it's a good feeling. And there's probably people out there that have grown their business faster, but like I'm working with the market that I have, with the energy that I have, and I'm an easily burnt out person. And, I'm trying to avoid that. This is my business, my livelihood. It's what I want to do for a long time. So I just have to make it work on my own terms. So that's my goal, is to just get back in kind of like financial, like security mode, so that I am not so worried about it all the time. And I'm definitely on my way there. Like I'm not worried at all about getting there, because I don't really worry about money anymore right now anyways. I just kind of am like, this is what I have, this is my budget, and I'm just going to make it work. And, starting your own business takes months of being willing to do that and sacrifice and, sit some stuff out and just different stuff like that. You have to realize, like, the one night out at the bar where you might accidentally spend $120 is not worth not being able to buy something for your business that'll make you thousands of dollars. So it really comes down to like being responsible. And that was a big hurdle for me, because as I said, in college, I was very much like free willy-nilly spender. Like I just did whatever I wanted. So, if I can do it, you can do it. And I also have like the craziest market ever up here in New York. Like I have the most like low populated area. Like if I can make it work and I can like get ahead of my business, like anybody can, like truly, like I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. So
I think that some of our incoming students' biggest fear is just like, they're like, I'm in a rural area, like there's no one around me, how would I make this work? And like even with Amberly, and everyone I feel like knows Amberly's story by now, but she was like landlocked on an island during COVID, wondering how she was going to make it work, because she literally only had so much to choose from. Like she was on a tiny island. So it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you put in the work, if you are willing to make those short-term sacrifices, like you're saying, for that long-term game, like, and you are open to the coaching, and you're open to just being vulnerable and saying that you're not good at something, or you're failing at something, or, you're in a mood where you're just like doubting everything, like we will coach you back to it, get you back in alignment.
And it's important to like share those moments. Like don't not share those moments because you're embarrassed. Like share those moments, like feel what you're feeling, share it with their group. Like that's what the group is for. Like it's not just to learn, like it's for support. Like I feel like, the people involved in Fill Your Books are all really good people, and they want to see you win. Like that's really what it's about. And, like as far as the whole rural thing, for anybody that's concerned about that, get creative. Like for me, like the way I started seeing things really take off was Facebook groups. If you're in a rural community, they love supporting small business. So that's your advantage. Like that's my advantage, is I poach a lot of clients from bigger salons because they would just rather give the money to me. And, at the end of the day, the bigger salons can afford to lose the clients and I can't. So when you're in a rural area like that, you're actually a leg up because they love supporting small business. Whereas if you're in a city, you have to compete with all of those bigger markets and bigger salons and just different stuff like that. Like, yeah, everybody likes supporting small business, but in the rural communities, it's like key to like operating. Like, and if you also can even just a little bit support small business back, like the community will pour into you and you'll feel it. And another thing too is like if you're in a rural area, like don't be afraid. Like I've looked on Instagram at stuff in cities that are 35 minutes away, 40 minutes away, 45 minutes away. If you're in a rural community, I'm sure like driving is a thing. Like you drive far. My first job was 35 minutes from my house, like from my mom's house. It's a normal thing. So don't be afraid to expand your horizons and bring those people to you. Make them feel like it's worth the trip. And like 100% they will, because as I said, they want to support small business. It's the biggest thing in rural communities. Like small business keeps the whole thing alive. So you really have a leg up if you're in a rural situation. Like
it's all in perspective. It's all how you look at it, right?
Yes, exactly.
I have loved talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, for being like the most amazing coachable student, and even during like the hard times where you're just like you know, struggling through it a little bit. Things that are worth having sometimes take those challenges to kind of level up with.
100%.
So to all of the other potential Fill Your Books family members, if you guys are interested in booking that call with Tony or any one of our other coaches, please go to fillyourbooks.com, you know, click the link, fill out an application, and we would love to talk to you and help you through your journey. So until next time, I'll see you guys.